What are some things that you guys came up with? Pop it in the chat. There's some unique things on your never regret list. Let's see, ice plunge, Gina, I love it. Talk a little bit that later on too, when we go into energy rituals. Working out, even though I feel I was tired, feeling lazy, 100%. Stacy, deep, meaningful conversations with people I love. Huge. That sounds like a habit to me. Nick, weights, soccer, movies. Awesome. Watching the sunset. Where are you from, Gina?
Puerto Rico. I'm really from Texas, but live in Puerto Rico, and I'm here visiting.
Sunsets out there. I love it. Luis, reading a great book. Soccer 2, stealing that one. Today, I love this. Being in community, jogging ideas off each other. This is awesome. Good stuff. Thank you, Nick and Luis. Tommy, going for walks, Muay Thai, having boundaries, having a tasty, unhealthy, occasional stack. Awesome. Cutting out people who no longer serve me. Gina, meditation, huge. Having a well thought out written plan. And there's so many now. Holly, making a difference in someone's life. Yoga, eating healthy, breathwork, journaling. Awesome. Was just making this list super helpful for you guys? Awesome. Good. So let's go back into it. So now that you've created your never regret list, you can start adding it to your habit tracker. So things like meditation or watching the sunset, all of that stuff. All we want to do is initially put in the name of the habit, the start date. So if you started it a week ago and you've been consistent with it, put it then. The type, is it starting or stopping? Or the type is mindset, energy, relationships, or business. And are you starting or stopping it? And also the commitment, which is three days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. Here's a little visual of that. So you guys can take a second and pop those things in here to your ultimate habit tracking system. If you just go down here and you click this on, you can use Control Command Spacebar to add in the emoji. Sunset. Watch. Sunset. And then the start date could be.
We said with a Control Command, each on Control C or something else. Where's the command key?
For Mac, it's a Control Command Spacebar.
What about non-Mac?
I'm not sure. We can. You're on Mac. Good ChatGPT question. We'll answer that for you. And we'll talk about ChatGPT in a little bit here. How long do you want to watch the sunset for? Put in the duration. This is for mindset, more energy, start. And then we'll talk about the other concepts here and how to get that added. Cool. So just think about a few, pop in a few, and also if you want to delete one of these that's preloaded in there, let's say you don't want to do the cold shower, cold plunge, you can just click the click it right there, press delete record, and it will go away. Cool. Any questions on that? All right. So I'll give you a minute to play around with that. Start plugging some of those things in, and then we'll get into the rest of it. Did you guys get your first few? Awesome, Chase. Thanks for sharing that. Did you guys get your first few habits in there? Not yet. Rick?
I'm still trying to figure out how to hit you said, I know you got a Mac, but you're using Control Command to put a new space in there, or what's the,
For an emoji. I just love emojis.
oh, okay. So how do I create a new, say if I want to add a new habit on top of the two that you've got in there?
Yep. You just go down here and there's a plus button in the bottom. Thanks for
I
asking.
missed that. Thanks, man.
And the additional thing that you guys can do here, just think about the plus button to add a new record, and then you can expand the record right next to it. So if we go into my stretching habit, we'll expand it here. And then you have all the additional information if you want to view it that way as well.
There's
And
no plus on my view.
What's that?
There's no plus button on the view that I have.
Interesting. Does anybody else not have a plus button? Okay. Well, Holly? If you copy.
You have to copy it over into your base, and then I got the plus button.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Oh, there it is. Now I see it. Sorry, I was clicking on the wrong link.
You're good. This is good. Other people are learning from this, so this is perfect. Yeah. And then you'll have it. And just know plus button right here, and then also you can expand the record right here. And I've added in some buttons for easy access right here. So ChatGPT, boom, you can go straight there. Or if you want to go straight to the trainings, boom, you can go straight to the trainings there as well.
Andrew, will you add one complete one so we can see the complete process of adding a habit, duration, time, just so we can see that, please?
Yes. So what I like to do is fill it out first on here and
Okay.
then open it up. And for the cue, craving, response, reward, resources, 90-day celebration, and the cost, that's what we're getting into next. Cool.
Thank you.
Good questions. All right. How many of you guys are regularly using ChatGPT? Raise of hands. All right. Okay. Got it. Who would like to use ChatGPT more? Raise of hands. Awesome. Cool. Just about everyone. So what I've added in for you guys inside of the trainings is the ChatGPT personal persona that you can create. So if you go into the trainings here, you scroll down to ChatGPT, you'll see how to create your personal persona. We won't do it on this call, but this will be one of the first things I would do right after this call. And I've added in all the things that you can think about to create a personal persona in ChatGPT. And then I've given you an example of what mine looks like, the initial one that I filled out. So this will give ChatGPT all of your information of exactly who you are. And the more detailed you can be about it, the better responses you'll actually get out of ChatGPT. So you'll create that. And then I've also added in a task for it to create the all the additional information for the habit for you. So the cue, the craving, the response, the reward, what is the cost of not doing it? How can I reduce friction? Give me 3 recommendations of celebrating this, and provide helpful resources that will help you start and continue this habit. So what that will spit out is something that is much longer than this, but it will give you the direct links to helpful resources that will help you implement or delete that habit, and it'll be right there for you. So all of that is inside of the trainings under ChatGPT. So you just simply copy and paste this over, this little thing at the bottom. I have the step-by-steps for you. And then I have the video on how to add it to your tracking system right there for you. So you'll be able to use ChatGPT to move it over. The additional benefit of having a personal persona is you can ask ChatGPT whatever else it is that you want to create out of it. So you could give it a little bit more additional information, ask it to create a weightlifting and nutrition program for you, anything you want. Pretty cool, right? Cool. Sweet. So here are the actions. Create version 1 of your ChatGPT persona, copy and paste your personal persona and habit tracker into ChatGPT, copy and paste the responses into your habit tracker. And then you will have all of this nailed down, and you'll also have just so many ideas sparking of, oh, this is what I could do to implement this habit or delete this habit. Oh, I've got helpful resources, all of that stuff that will help you fully commit to starting or stopping this new habit. Does that sound good? Does that help with ChatGPT? Cool. So what I want to go into next are energy rituals. So we have all the trainings for these energy rituals inside of the training section of your habit creation and system. And the power of this is once you identify and commit to your energy rituals, you become more peaceful, more grounded, more productive throughout the day. They allow you to be more productive in your work, more present for your loved ones, and they allow you to be more creative. Once you implement and optimize your energy rituals, you start to sync your brain and body into a natural rhythm. Energy rituals provide you with a clear mind and grounded body, improving your ability to stick to your habits. I did not have a regular routine of energy rituals when I was running Tribe of Buyers, my last business that I sold, and it led me to complete burnout. This is one of my missions to help entrepreneurs with, is installing energy rituals into their life so they are the most productive, and most importantly, that they can connect with other people and their loved ones and not totally numb themselves out like I used to. So the thing here is, when you understand emotional alchemy, you understand peak performance and how to stick to your habits. We don't have enough time to go super deep into emotional alchemy, but I want to give you the basics right here. It's essentially when we feel good, we make good decisions. When we feel bad, we make bad decisions. So why aren't we taking care of how we feel with emotional alchemy? Most likely it's because we don't know why we feel the way that we feel, and we don't know what we can do to change how we feel. Emotions are what truly drive our behavior, right? So I have a graphic here for you. It's also inside of the trainings. This is one of the first graphics I created for emotional alchemy, but it will give you the basics around this. So emotional alchemy isn't just how we're changing and how we're alchemizing our emotions internally, but how we're actually affecting other people with how we are acting, what we are saying, what we are doing, right? So we have 5 core emotional components here for emotional alchemy. Dopamine. So when we naturally increase dopamine, we naturally have more motivation and focus. Great way of doing this is having a bigger vision for our life, having core beliefs, having core principles in our life that allow us to drive that neurotransmitter and have more motivation and focus. There's also serotonin. We'll be doing breath work here in a second. And that is a great way to drive serotonin, which allows us to feel that happy, joy, calm. And serotonin is the antidote to cortisol, where most of us as entrepreneurs, we have a buildup of cortisol in our system, causing us to make decisions we don't want to make, to say that thing we didn't actually want to say. But when we have an energy ritual in place to increase serotonin, to reduce cortisol, then we make less of those decisions in our mind because we're alchemizing our emotions, right? Endorphins, you guys all know this. Great way to do that is work out, move the body. Also, laughter is beautiful for endorphins. So maybe a habit might be on a weekly basis, going to a comedy show, something like that, or hanging out with a funny friend. Also, oxytocin, the connection love molecule. This is why when people isolate themselves, they are depleted of oxytocin and they don't really feel like a human. They become a robot. They become a machine. So we need to introduce energy rituals around oxytocin into our life, which might be cuddling with a loved one, having deep empathetic conversations, going out of our way to help people. One thing that I do is every single year I go to Baja, Mexico to build a house for a family where I get to build the house, but also play with their kids and all of that stuff. Big release of oxytocin there. we get to give back, and we also get to just feel the gratitude of being able to help, right? So oxytocin and cortisol, stress hormone, releases epinephrine, norepinephrine in our brain. And when it becomes too much, we get into a stress state, worry, doubt, fear. But what we want to be in is a eustress state when we're trying to be productive and going. And that's a mix of the other hormones and other neurotransmitters, and about 20% cortisol and 80% the rest of the neurotransmitters. So there's stress there's stuff driving us, but also we have those love chemicals that I call them, that allow us to stay in alignment and stay on path without just going all over the place and having too much stress in our life. So that's a brief overview of emotional alchemy. We go more into this in our other programs. I wish I had more to go, more opportunity to go deeper on this with you guys right now, because it's just a super powerful framework. And I invite you guys to look into this after the call. But when we're talking about energy rituals, I break it down into two different categories. So we have power pivots and we have ritual resets. These have totally transformed, probably they've added 2 to 3 hours worth of productivity to my days and just so much more happiness to my life. So we have this buildup of cortisol over time throughout our day. And how many of you guys have just hit 3 o'clock and your mind's all over the place and you can't focus and all that stuff? If you introduce power pivots to your life, when you see that cortisol come up and it's just going all over the place, implement a power pivot, which is a 3 to 5 minute activity that allows you to alchemize your emotions, reduce your cortisol, and also just increase your dopamine, serotonin, all of that stuff. I do these 3 to 4 times throughout the day. So when I'm at the end of the day, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I still have the energy. I don't let that cortisol, I don't let that stress build up over time. Does that make sense? And then ritual resets. So these are the deeper practices that have transformed my life. They're a holistic rejuvenation, grounding, and realignment of the nervous system. So my go-to is a 30 minute to 60 minute breathwork session 2 times per week. It depends on when I do them. When I feel like that immense amount of cortisol and I'm going to bed and my mind is just running, then I'll do a 30 minute to 60 minute breathwork session. Usually that's 2 to 3 times per week. I've added in a link right here. You guys will get the slides of the Breathwork app that I use for these power pivots, and ritual resets for the longer breathwork session as well. Cool. And who wants to do a power pivot with me right now? Raise your hands. Here we go. All right. So this is the Pause Breathwork app for you. And this is one of my favorite ones to do. It's called Clearing the Mind. It's a 3-minute breathwork session. And what will happen during this session is you'll get an increase of endorphins and an increase in serotonin and a reduction of cortisol. So you'll be in this state of being focused, grounded, and not all over the place, right? Just from releasing those chemicals. So when we're doing breath work and we're snapping the belly in, or we're doing a body movement, that releases the endorphins into our system that allows our nervous system to reset a little bit and still have that cool, calm, focused energy. And then the serotonin allows us to be calm, and then the cortisol is reduced. Cool. So let's hop into it. Take this out. So the breathing pattern for this is you're breathing out the mouth. So like that. You don't have to think about breathing in. When you're breathing out like that, you'll naturally breathe in. And then you want your belly to snap in a little bit. So it looks like this. And then we'll do a breath hold at the end. So breathing fully in the nose. and we'll do a hold for about 10 seconds.
Are you doing in and out the mouth on all, both in and out?
In and out the mouth, and then the breath hold is in through the nose. Boom. And you'll feel this change in energy, and you'll notice your thoughts so much more. And we'll do a little meditation at the end too. Refocus, realign. We'll just get into it. Are there any questions on the breath work? Okay. Good.
It's time to clear the mind.
You guys hear that?
Through the breath, we allow the mind to release, to relax, let go. Let's start by taking a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. When you're ready, let's connect our powerful exhales only through the mouth. Go into your breath, the more the mind relaxes and releases. Letting the breath do the work. Beautiful. Strong, powerful exhales. Really letting the breath guide. What do you need to let go of? Clear your mind. Open your awareness. Just letting it go. Beautiful work. Just let go. You are safe to feel. Letting the breath guide you into clearing a lot of the confusion and frustration. Doing amazing. Just keep with that breath. Keep with the flow of the breath. We can, the last couple moments, really intensify that. Really letting it go. What energy do you need to release through the mouth to create more spaciousness for your truth? And when you're ready, taking a deep breath in through the nose, holding the breath at the top, holding for a few moments here. Noticing the energy shift and recalibrate. Letting it go. You are complete.
A second here to just follow the belly in and out. Notice the chin, power, calm, focus there. Just for a second, ask yourself, what would you do today? Great. Loved one, friend. What visualize yourself. doing that activity. See smiles. Fix. Just the change that you feel. This is how we put space between notes, space between thoughts, create music out of life, to reset, power pivot, create a new future for ourselves. Just a reminder, you have this tool at your disposal at any time. Slowly flutter open those eyes, come back to the space, come back to the room. That's the example of a power pivot for you guys. Just using the breath. And we get caught up in the day-to-day, our mind constantly running. But when we can put space between our thoughts or space between the notes, create more music out of our life, and we can always breathe and we can always visualize the new future that we want. And every thought, every action, every emotion produces more emotions. So we can pause our thoughts and create new thoughts, create new emotions just from visualizing. Pretty cool. Thanks for doing that with me, you guys. All right. So we're going to hop back into the training and get into some time design so we can make this actually make this tangible. So time design. I remember a time when I felt constantly busy, yet my biggest goals seemed perpetually out of reach. It was like I was trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. No matter how much effort I put in, the results just drained away. That's why I turned to time tracking and time design. And let me tell you, it's revolutionary. And I saw the holes in my days and the leaks, and were no longer draining my productivity. With that awareness, I could patch them up and start truly filling my bucket. So a nice little analogy for time design here is if you imagine yourself as an artist and every morning you're handed a blank canvas. That's your day. What does it look like? Now you have a palette of colors. These are your tasks, your breaks, your deep work, your energy rituals. And without a plan or understanding, you might splash colors randomly and end up with a messy canvas. But with time tracking and time design, you become the master artist, deliberately choosing where each color goes, creating a daily masterpiece. So let's get into that. So time design, the action. Set up 2 hours of deep work on your calendar each and every single day. Just doing this will help you become far more productive. Then add your energy rituals to your calendar as well. So 3 to 4 throughout the day. You might do them at another time as well when you feel that energy dip or that stress coming up, but make sure you have them on your calendar. So for example, I know I hit an energy dip naturally at 3 o'clock. So I have exercise on my calendar then. Add your sleep time to your calendar as well. So you specifically stick to, this is the time I'm falling asleep, this is the time that I'm waking up. All of you guys know about circadian rhythms here. And when we can do that, we naturally get into our own body's rhythm. And then number 4, add social time and rest and relaxation time to your calendar as well. So this allows us to use our calendar to be like, oh, this is time for social time, for connection. I don't need to think about business right now. And there's this crazy mental hack that happens when we truly start to adopt our calendar in a way of, this is exactly what I'm doing, and I don't need to think about anything else when it comes to work, when it comes to energy rituals, when it comes to socializing. You are the master artist, and you get to paint a new picture every single day. So you set that up initially on your calendar, and your daily action is to go into your calendar and paint a daily canvas of your day. So you can take out your deep work time and install exactly what you're working on. So for me, it was taking out deep work time and putting it in working on the ultimate habit tracking system during my deep work time. So it's hyper specific, right? Also asking yourself, what would make today great? And during your social time or your rest and relaxation time, adding that thing in and actually committing to doing it. And then what else do I desire to accomplish today? You can put in 30 minutes, an hour of getting certain task work done, something like that. But you get to paint your canvas every single day. And more trainings on that is inside of the trainings inside of the Ultimate Habit Tracker. We also had one of our Masters of Fate brothers, Spencer, come in and do a training around time design that's really powerful. I invite you guys to check that out as well. So let's get into time tracking. So time is what we want most, but what we use worst, from William Penn. So have you guys ever found yourself wondering where the day went, or perhaps you felt that sinking feeling of not achieving what you set out to do, even after a long day's work? You're not alone, but here's the truth. Time doesn't slip away. It's just simply mismanaged. And this is where we enter the realm of time tracking. So when we time track, we get a better idea of where our time is actually going. And our mind likes to forget things, but when we actually document things, then we actually know where it's going. The shortest pencil retains more than the longest memory. The more that we can put down, the more we'll actually remember and actually identify, oh, that's where everything is going. Right. So I've created a time tracker for you guys. I've created a video inside of the training. I invite you guys to commit yourself to 7 days of time tracking, and you will start to see where that time is actually going. So you can recommit yourself to new habits and delete those old habits. To show you that real quick, got the time tracker here. And save this to the top of your Chrome bar, or also it works on Airtable mobile. So download the Airtable mobile app and you can plug these things in. So you just go down here, you press the plus button, habit creation workshop. You put in the time, put in 3 o'clock. Say it goes until then. This is other work, and I'll call it a project work. And then I've got it tracked in there, and I can see exactly where my time is going. How much I'm spending on social time, how much I'm spending on project work, client meetings, my energy rituals, breaks, and then the core 4 categories. How much time am I spending on breaks, deep work, other work, energy, all of it right there. And you also have a filter section right here where I could go back to the 18th and see exactly where my time went on the 18th as well. So pretty cool. All right.
And Andrew, was that on the Airtable sheet that you gave us, that time
Yes.
tracking? Okay, thank you.
Yes, so that is directly in there under time tracking. And then all the trainings as well in there under time tracking are right there. Oh. So who got some value out of this today? Sweet. I'd love for you guys to share your biggest takeaways in the chat and also some action items as well. What you plan on implementing. So biggest takeaway, biggest thing that stood out, and some action items. Filling out the doc and doing it. Awesome, Gina. Love it.
Be that simple, right? You just gotta do it.
It's time to do it. I love it. Recording the cues and extras for the habits to stick to them. Awesome, Jay. Huge. Using ChatGPT to help out with that. Like we're gonna have some juicy ones here. There we go. Willpower doesn't work. You have to design our environment to design our lives. Use Airtable to keep ourselves accountable. Awesome. The impact of small changes and habits. Action items. Get habit trackers set up. Yes, let's do it. Love it, Stacy. Biggest takeaway: combining elements of atomic habits and energy work in a systematic approach to tracking habits and time use. I love it, Rick. Time tracking systematically. It's all systems. I love it. Creating a persona with ChatGPT for habits. 100%, Tommy. Systematically planning energy rituals. Love the mindset shift. Awesome. And actions. Get the system set up and start tracking. Awesome. Love it, guys. Thanks for sharing. We have a few more things left. So just a reminder of what we covered today. So we covered the mindset. Life isn't short. It's the longest thing we've ever done, the longest thing we ever will do. I shared my story around my dad and the rule of threes of habit creation and deletion. We talked about the always and nevers of habit implementation and deletion and being gentle on ourselves. We created a never regret list together. We started to install the habit tracker and how to use ChatGPT as your second brain and starting that with your habits. We talked about energy rituals and power pivots and ritual resets, and we did some breath work together. And also we talked about time design for life mastery. So pretty cool. And I've got this special gift and announcement for you. So can I share a no-brainer offer with you guys to continue this work together? Is that okay with you guys? Okay, got some heads nodding. I've just introduced a new community that I'm super passionate about called the Reprogramming Project Community. Because when I was in Costa Rica a couple years ago, I was getting my hair cut down there with my buddy Matt. Look how beautiful our hair looks. And I was talking to these two guys there, and they were just talking about how they were super cool, but they weren't happy where they were at in life. And I thought about the different things that allow people to be their fullest self and actually master themselves and change their identity so they can take the behavior to drive the behavior of who they want to become. And since that time, I created the identity transformation system. And if Stacy's here, or if Holly is here, they can talk more about that. But we break down your core values in multiple different categories. I've adopted this from Dr. DeMartini's work, if you guys have ever heard of him. I've also nailed down a system where you input your vision. And how many of you guys have created a vision document and then never looked at it again? I know I have for a lot of times. Also, really nailing down your core internal, external, and life beliefs so you can reshift and change your thought pattern in any moment. And also nailing down your principles of how you actually make decisions. And the question usually is, cool, after I have this, what happens? So I've also created the alignment journal, where every single day you are reminded of your core values, your vision, your beliefs, your principles, so that you stay in alignment with who you actually are. I've done this for over 500 days straight, I'll tell you, this works. So I created that identity transformation system and I launched it with a group of founding members. And if Stacy's here,
I'm here.
Stacy, I'd love for you to share your experience going through your founding members, if that's the founding members for the ITS system, if that's cool with everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to like share about my experience, what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm somebody who kind of works in the industry of productivity and like all of that kind of stuff, efficiency, effectiveness. And yet I found myself struggling with coming up and nailing and like sticking to my values. So I was kind of wandering quite a bit, not really kind of following the direction of a vision. So jumping in changed all of that stuff. It made things way more easy to focus on, way easier to implement, way easier to kind of actually follow, like my North Star, if you will, and add that into the stuff that I was already doing. And it was so powerful.
Thank
So
you so much,
powerful.
Stacey.
Yeah.
It's so great being on the calls with you. So that's the power of the system and really nailing these things down and being our future self today. And keeping that front and center and top of mind instead of going back to our past, creating our future and being our future self. So inside of here, I've also implemented a community, and you guys are going to be the first to check this out. And I thought this picture was very telling of if we're around the people that don't align with our values, with our vision, with our mission, then it's just like getting bruised on a pear, that they are naturally just kind of bruising us and we're bruising them. So surrounding ourselves with a community of like-minded people that are talking about their vision, their values, their purpose, their beliefs, their principles is a way to not have this happen, right? So we did the identity transformation systems beta. Here's some of the results. We have Edwin who said, yo, seriously, thank you for the Airtable systems and training. It's changed my life in profound ways. It's what I've always been trying to create, something like this for myself for years. So benefiting from your work and your design, I'm so deeply grateful. I literally write what I'm grateful for in this Airtable template every single day. Eric says, for the first time in my life, I feel organized and in control. Everyone on a personal journey needs the self-mastery system, and then some others around the Airtable and also Breathwork and all that stuff. So here's what I'm introducing. You guys will be the first ones to have an opportunity to hop in. So it's the Reprogramming project community. So I realize that everybody is doing the best with the current programming that they have. So how can we create a systemized way to help people reprogram themselves so they can do even better? So I've added that and some AI and systems trainings to this community because I just fucking love AI and systems and it's fun. So here's a breakdown of it. You get the whole identity transformation systems and trainings with your values, your vision, your beliefs. You get the journal, all that stuff. Also the AI systems and trainings, which I'm producing this week for you guys. Weekly identity transformation systems calls. So every Monday having mindset mastery call, Tuesday an energy alignments sessions, and then Wednesday a systems and AI session as well. And it's come to the calls that you want to come to, don't come to the ones that you don't want to come to. We have the reprogramming project community on Skool for you guys, the energy ritual accountability threads, which I'll show you guys in a second, and starting a global movement together to help people reprogram themselves. So total value there over $13,000. I'll make it really simple for you guys. Get started today for only $49 in total. And you get to become a TRP founding member. We only have 15 spots left. They will sell out this week. We're going to make some posts about it. We officially start on Monday, September 5th with a founding members group kickoff call. And you get immediate access to the reprogramming project community trainings and ITS system. And we're going to be building this together. So I'm going to be on the majority of the calls for starting out. I won't be there forever. But it's just great opportunity if you got any value out of this call and out of this system to continue the work together to fully commit to your new habits with this new community and grow together. So to get started, I'll drop this link. If any of you guys are fuck yeah, let's fucking go, you can say drop that link in the chat and I'll put it in there for you guys. Boom. And we have Stacy and Holly, who are our first founding members after the ITS system. We haven't pushed this at all. We're going to start a push this week and fill out the final remaining 15 spots. Here's a reminder of what you get out of the TRP community with our IT system, with our identity transformation systems, AI systems and trainings. We'll go super deep on AI. So if you guys want to learn more about that, you get to hang out with me on a weekly basis with identity transformation systems calls. Plus there will be some coaches coming in around mindset, energy, systems, and AI, the reprogramming project community of badass entrepreneurs together, energy ritual accountability threads. So if you want to commit to your breath work, your meditation, your exercise, all that stuff is in there. We get to start this movement together for only $49 a month. Satisfaction guaranteed. You can cancel at any time. You can ask for your money back, but I don't think that will happen. And just wanted to put that offer out to you guys if you want to fully commit to the new version of yourself after nailing down these habits. So that is about it for this. You guys, we already have this up, so you'll get instant access to all this. We got the classroom in here where you can start going through the trainings and mastering your energy. If you really like the breathwork session together, you'll love this. Mastering your mindset. If anything that Stacy spoke to you around what she's been able to implement with her systems, you'll get the mindset trainings as well. And just some really cool stuff, and we're going to be building this together. So that's about it for that presentation. But I have about 10 minutes to go into some Q&A. And Gina, the calls are at 11 a.m. EST every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday starting out. We might change it with the founding members group once they come in and they're like, these times would work better. We're just playing around with it.
So 11 a.m. Eastern,
Yep, 11 a.m. Eastern.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, is that what you said?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, thanks.
Just kicking the week off right, you know? Cool. So if there are any questions around Airtable systems, AI, anything like that, or the reprogramming project community, I'm here for all of it.
So can you get a little more on what the identity change is and what the transformation from, like what the outcome is, what we want, or is it you're just giving us the tools to transform to what we want?
So on the calls, we can jam out on just about anything. We'll have a little bit of like presentation if there's something super useful for new mindset, new energy, or AI and systems and that sort of stuff. Especially starting out with the first 15, there will be plenty of time for Q&A and making it hyper specific around what you guys need. And then we're going to be building out the AI and systems trainings together inside of this community. So you'll see a lot more of that and just become way more hyper productive using ChatGPT and also Airtable and all of that stuff. The tangible outcome is just mastery over self, and also how that, if you guys really believe that the internal changes the external, tangible outcome is radically change the internal to change the external.
And thanks. Does this include any of the systems, or is that Masters of Fate? Business systems?
The business systems are in Masters of Fate, but with the AI systems and all of that stuff, that's going to be brand new, and that's going to be in both. So I'm super excited to build that out with you guys. Yeah. Good questions. Sweet. Forrest, still loving the beard and the head nods with it.
Yeah, no, dude, I love it. No, it's been great stuff. I love this variation of the breath work as well. And you gave like tons of great strategies. And I mean, right now it's like life is really about optimizing. So yeah, definitely super interested. And I think just being around the community, like I've had communities for authors and being around people that are doing this stuff, I think that's, yeah, just another piece that's been missing. So great stuff, bro. Great presentation. Very, very cool.
Huge. I love it. Yeah, I'm excited for you guys to dive into the habit tracking system as well, and would love to hear your feedback on using it. That'd be awesome. Thanks for sharing, Forrest.
Mm.
Yeah. Any other questions, Gina? Anything you want to add, or any questions?
Just the system looks extremely comprehensive, so I'm really looking forward to diving into it and playing with it more and understanding and tweaking it and customizing it. So
I love it.
awesome.
Yeah, keep us updated with all that. Cool, guys. Just a reminder for the founding members special, and the price is going up after the first 15 to 97. We'll make some posts on it this week and probably fill it up by early next week. So the link is in there. We'll also probably shoot it over to you as well if you haven't hit it yet. But I really appreciate you guys just focusing on yourselves and becoming the best versions of yourself, and taking the step forward to implement new habits and delete old habits. I'm super excited to see your guys' transformations.
And Andrew, will we be grandfathered in at that $49 a month? Is that how that works?
Yeah, so that will stay $49 for you guys. My guess is we'll probably up the price to $297 a month at some point, just systematically. So yeah, you guys will always have it for $497 a month.
$497 or 49?
$497, 49. Even better. I did oh my God. So this brought up a memory. I don't know if it's relevant, but I hosted an event called Tribe Buyers Live in 2019. And I am terrible at presenting. I don't know if you guys saw that. When it comes to presenting the actual offer, terrible at it right now. And it's something I'm working on, and I joined Eli Wild's program for speaker training and all that. But in 2019, I hosted a 200-person event, and it was so cool because so many people were from my Facebook group and everybody knew me, and the event was freaking awesome. We did breath work together there as well, and we provided some little tools, tips, and tricks to make money online right there. Everything went great. And then I had to present on day 2 at the end. And I created my presentation slides with somebody who I didn't really align with how they pitch. I was going through them, and I remember in the back of my head, I was like, this is going fucking terrible. Like, this is awful. And so I got down to the value stack, and I forgot how to say numbers. I just stumbled through all of the numbers. And I think it actually worked to anchor people to the price. So that was good. But I was still thinking, like, this is fucking terrible. This is awful. And I remember just stopping, looking at the crowd, and being like, yo, I'm really screwing this pitch up. And I just want to be real and authentic right now. And I feel like this offer will help a lot of you guys succeed in your businesses and where you want to go. And I want to apologize for screwing this up. And my sales guy, Brad, was right behind me, and he just says, oh, that's cute. And then one person stands up and starts clapping, and then the whole room starts standing up. And I'm like, this is the weirdest freaking thing, getting a standing ovation for a 30K and a 60K offer. This is so weird. And then I finished up the pitch, and we made $1.1 million at that event. And it was just like, oh yeah, just be real and authentic. And then people like that.
It's missing in today's world. So
yeah,
great job.
so important, but just random thought.
Thank you.
Cool, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys. The faces I'm seeing, Rick, Forrest, Gina, hope to see you guys inside the community. But thank you guys for showing up on the call.
Starts Tuesday. Is that Tuesday the 5th of September, you said?
Yep. September
Cool.
5th. That's when we officially kick off. But right now, like, you'll get instant access to all the IT systems trainings and the new, like, you'll be able to download that system right away. So
Cool. I signed up. Looking forward to it.
let's
Thanks
go,
for the
Rick.
presentation.
I'm
Yeah.
signing up too, Andrew.
Yeah,
So I'll see
Gina,
you in
let's
there. Okay.
go. Well, I will see you guys more regularly. I'm excited for this journey together. It's gonna be awesome.
All right, excited. Have a great day. I gotta run.
Thank you
Awesome.
for your time.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you soon.